Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Matt Austin. I'm in for Justin. Tonight, we begin with a major drug bust in Volusia County. News 6 was there alongside Daytona Beach police all day today as they searched properties and made arrests. News 6's Molly Reed gives us a behind-the-scenes look at their work to get results, get drugs and dealers off the streets, and save some lives.
The chief here in Daytona Beach says that this was a big drug trafficking ring with 32 people involved. Now, we got to the station here early this morning as officers set out to start looking for them.
We are gathered here at 0500 hours as a culmination of an almost years-long investigation. I'm very, very proud of our organization because, you know, this is a big deal for us. They've spent a lot of time away from their families, and all of it is culminating this morning.
And after a quick briefing from Chief Jakari Young, we were off, following Daytona's officers and SWAT team out of the police station into the front doors of 32 people they say were part of a major drug trafficking ring. The police at many of the homes forcing their way in, working for hours to capture as many as they could.
I mean, this is like a matter of life and death. We have people that are dying on a daily basis due to these pedal pushers, these folks that are out here peddling this poison.
This is one of the 11 properties in Volusia County today where they serve these search warrants. We even talked to some neighbors out here who were happy to see the police.
We haven't ever seen any police over there, but there's been a lot of traffic in and out of that house.
Yeah. Are you happy to see them here now?
Yes, yes, we are.
And after all of the properties were searched, we came back here to the police department to hear the results these officers got.
430.2 grams of fentanyl, because it's important to highlight that it only takes 0.1 grams of fentanyl to overdose.
That's on top of meth, weed, pills, cocaine, 5 cars, money, and 17 guns the police seized in this investigation. The chief says several of the addresses we went to today had been the center of complaints from residents for months.
We hear you, and we hope that today will give you some relief, but I want you to know that we're not going to stop.
And this is still a pretty fluid situation. Not all 32 people have been caught just yet. Police are still out working to catch the rest of them. In Daytona Beach, Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed, getting results, News 6.
All right, let's check in with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. Radar is fairly clear tonight, John.
Very, very clear. Just a couple of stray downpours in there. Really not even downpours, just in southern Sumter County. Just a quick hitting downpour, and that's really it. A couple of stray showers in eastern Seminole County right on the coast as well, in between Palm Bay and Rockledge for us to go closer to Satellite Beach. Otherwise, we are nice and quiet tonight. Where it's not quiet is often to the Atlantic. You see the Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, and here is Hurricane Ernesto trying to form an eye. There's some drier air in the center, so thankfully that's putting a pause on its rapid intensification. So that is some good news, at least relatively speaking. Still looking at a strong Category 2 hurricane heading towards Bermuda. Ernesto is part of the reason why we're going to have a very nice weekend, though. Counterclockwise flow around the hurricane is helping to pull in that drier air, that less humid air from the north and east coast of the United States as that continues to work its way to the north. So Ernesto, the reason for our nice weekend. It's not going to be nice, unfortunately, for our friends in Bermuda. Again, expected to make landfall or get close to a landfall as a Category 2 hurricane sometime early on Saturday, then work its way up into the North Atlantic. We're going to talk much more about that comfy air, though, coming in for Central Florida coming up in about 15 minutes, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Get Pinpoint Weather on the go. Plus, use live interactive radar with our free News 6 Pinpoint Weather app. Search WKMG in your app store.
With the August primary election just 5 days away, the Orange County Supervisor of Elections office opened its doors to give us an inside look at their process.
We were first to tell you about how their live stream broadcast of official ballot vote counts. It was a first for Florida, but has that history-making moment resonated with voters? News 6 reporter Catherine Silver checks in.
Anytime you come to the Supervisor of Elections office here in Orange County, you'll notice there's cameras for security, but there's another set of cameras that serve an entirely different purpose. They're for transparency.
Click on ballot processing live stream just like that.
Live stream technology on the OCF elections site gives voters a way to watch the ballot process. You can see the count anywhere with an internet connection. You've used this technology in the spring before. How's it going?
Oh, it's going fantastic. Your station was the first one to actually break the news on our live stream feature.
And what are we watching right now?
Right now, we're watching all the ballots being processed.
Since then, we've had thousands of people actually log on.
What do you hear from voters?
They feel confident that our elections are now safe and more transparent than ever before.
Supervisor of Elections Glenn Gilzine says the cameras were always there for overflow when the actual room filled up. So why not use them for this in a time where election integrity is paramount? Jim Clark, our News 6 political expert. Nowadays, when we have an election cycle, election integrity always comes up as a real concern. But when we speak to our elections officials, they say they really don't see issues. So where's the disconnect?
The disconnect is all the conspiracy theories that have cropped up since the election 4 years ago.
Every county?
Yeah. Florida has 67 election supervisors, and it doesn't matter if they're Republican or Democrat. Even Alan Hayes, a Republican in Lake County, gets these calls and emails on a regular basis saying, oh, there's a conspiracy here and you're not counting the votes right. And so this is a problem, and it wears down the election supervisors.
It's just not going away.
You're absolutely right. It is not going away.
This is just another invitation to invite the public into this process.
Absolutely. As we get ready to go into November, my goal is to have tens of thousands of people logged on to the live stream so that way they can see this democracy unfold real time.
So this is the room where vote by mail is counted, and this will be your view on election night. The primary is August 20th. We have a link to the website on our website as well. It's clickorlando.com. In Orange County, Catherine Silver, getting results, News 6.
All right, Catherine, thank you. We have all the info you need to make sure your voice is heard in next week's primary right now in our new voter guide on clickorlando.com/results 2024. You can also take your phone out, scan that QR code right on your screen. It will take you straight to that web page, so it's nice and easy to find.
All right, the winning streak continues for the Lake Mary All-Stars.
These are our guys. The team from Seminole County is up in Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the Little League World Series. They had their first game last night. Lake Mary pulled out a 2-1 victory against Sioux Falls team representing the Midwest. And we move on in the tournament. But we have to admit, it was a little closer than I was hoping for.
We were nervous.
It was a nail-biter, but starting pitcher J.J. Feliciano was throwing dimes. He put on an all-star level performance, only allowing one run on an infield single. You might think there's a lot of pressure in these games, but I want to give you an idea of how much fun these kids are having up in Williamsport. Take a listen.
Grandma's watching at home. You want to send a little message to her about how much this means to have her there watching as well and cheering you on?
Yeah, I love you, Grandma. Keep watching at home. We'll win for you.
How much do you love him?
I'm
a lot. Look at his little dance.
I'll adopt him right now. Look at this dance he ends with, by the way. I don't know what that is or where it came from.
It's something you can't do.
But he can throw 11 strikeouts and he can dance.
He's got it all, man.
Are you kidding me?
News 6's Justin Wormuth is traveling.
I can't do either of those things.
We know. And Justin, you ran into some of the players on their off day.
Listen, Ginger, if I was J.J. Feliciano in this sea of people, you would not be able to see me because that's how popular he is in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. I ran into him today. He told me that he was walking all throughout the crowd here and getting stopped left and right to sign autographs after that incredible performance. How cool is that, though, to be 12 years old and then you walk in to the stadium where you played last night and everyone knows your name. You're on a first-name basis. There's JJ. There's JJ. Let's go get his autograph. Let's go talk to JJ. It's really cool for these young men. I mean, this is what this is all about. That's why this tournament is such a big deal, because it puts such a spotlight on these boys. And not only that, but it also puts a spotlight for us on two local umpires who are here. Take a look at this. It's the summer vacation of a lifetime for Little League World Series umpires David Nogle and Eddie Smith.
I started umpiring back in 2006, and a couple of the guys that I started out with, we all kind of joked about, haha, wouldn't it be funny if we got to go to the Little League World Series? And I mean, you never thought it was going to happen.
This is a dream come true for me. My journey goes back further than his, because I started back in '96. And actually, I used to come up here for clinics.
Both men are from Central Florida. Nogle lives in East Orlando. His home base is Union Park Little League, a much different atmosphere than the games being played in Williamsport.
I did not anticipate how loud the crowd would be. Some of the verbal communications that you can do at a regular game, can't do that here.
Smith calls Horizon West home and umpires at Winter Garden Little League. Working the Little League World Series was always a goal of his, but one that is very difficult to achieve.
I got my recommendation, and lo and behold, I'm here, and I am tickled pink.
Coincidentally, Smith was the first base umpire for Lake Mary's opening game against South Dakota.
I mean, I had butterflies, but they were lined up.
All 20 umpires working the series are volunteers. It's part of their DNA.
The volunteerism is inbred in here. The excitement I get when you see that child that's timid and makes that great catch and that big smile on your face, that does this good.
Being an umpire is the way to stay connected with the ball game that I grew up loving and playing.
The umpires have been included in all the festivities as well. They were at the parade Tuesday, and at Wednesday's opening ceremonies, they received a big round of applause from the crowd.
We all looked at each other and said, gentlemen, enjoy the cheering, enjoy the applause. It's the last cheering that you're going to hear on your behalf. From this point forward, half the people are going to hate what you do.
That's part of the game, but the best feeling is when you walk off the field and they don't know we were there.
It really is a thankless job, and it was great to meet those two men from Orlando. Really, really cool. And listen to this. They're just 2 of 20 umpires who made the cut to be here at the Little League World Series. And before they made a rule change a couple of years ago, once you umpired here once, that was it. It was a one-and-done thing. Now what they do is they keep 5 veteran umpires on staff to sort of train the newbies and give them some perspective on what to expect here. So it's a really cool thing that they're doing. I just saw a Lake Mary shirt, by the way, and then this is the big board. So when a team wins, they come up here and they slap their name, sort of like in March Madness. So you can see the Southeast, First and Northwest. Friday, that's tomorrow, 7 p.m. It's really cool, and we're going to be here for that. Hopefully they can slap that tomorrow night after the game at 7 o'clock. But boy, what a day, a beautiful day here in Williamsport today. Cannot complain about the weather. I do not envy what's happening, and I don't really care about the weather back home, no offense, but it's like 80 degrees here.
Wow, ow.
And you're going to have to really yank. You're going to have to yank and probably call in reinforcements to get me and photographer Daniel Macaluso out of here, because we're just having a great time.
Hey, Justin, I hope you fall down that hill that you're walking across over there.
Those are fighting words now. Those are fighting words. That is crazy. I don't blame you, Justin.
Hold on, Matt. So listen to this. So I was talking to someone today, and I said, yeah, I went down this part of the hill yesterday. He goes, that's actually the kiddie part of the hill. The steeper part is a little bit. The steeper part is closer to the right field area. So do I go back and try to redeem myself?
Yes,
or just call it quits? I don't know.
No, you need to go on the Black Diamond portion of the hill.
Justin, I think you know which one of us is really your friend.
Yes.
I'm looking for good TV, Justin.
Well, here's the thing. We did it before the win last night, so maybe we don't want to mess up the juju this team has, so maybe I do have to do it pregame again.
He's right.
I'm wearing that same dress I wore last
night. As a tradition. I haven't showered since the last game
either,
so
that's
we're
a different
good.
story. Justin, thank you. Good luck. Don't put yourself in any danger.
Do it, Black Diamond. Thank you, my friend. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Thanks, guys.
Now, again, the boys took down their first opponent yesterday. They're now set to play tomorrow night. They're going to face off against a team from Washington State that's representing the Northwest. First pitch is at 7 o'clock. You know Lake Mary has that prime time position.
You know they do. Everybody wants to see them.
Tickets. You can get to know all 12 of the players making Florida proud right now. Just go to clickorlando.com/Lake Mary Little League.
Well, it is a major milestone for us here at News 6.
70 years of getting results. We take a stroll down memory lane and talk about a piece of history we keep right here at News 6. And we're about to get some of the best weather we've seen in a while here in Central Florida, all thanks to Hurricane Ernesto. Jonathan is going to tell us why. You're watching News 6 at 6:30, live on News 6 Plus.
Surprise.
Hey, I'm on TV again. We're getting results for you. ClickOrlando.com, Cocoa, Orange City, all over the place. Williamsport, Pennsylvania. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Thursday evening traffic alert. There'll be active construction zone in Seminole County, but nothing major scheduled overnight. But you'll still see some crews out there right around I-4 and 46. Same thing down here, but you'll see those lane closures from about Moss Park on 417 south to Narcoossee and possibly all the way towards the Lake Nona Boulevard area. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely, and I'll catch you in the morning.
Here is a live look now over Daytona Beach from our Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia camera. Who wants to be out there right now?
Looks nice.
Yeah, it really does. And I know I want to be out there this weekend because I don't know if you've heard about this cooler weather we have coming. I heard pumpkin spice.
Yeah, I heard
boots,
Jonathan
a light
overselling
sweater.
this big time.
Okay.
You should be selling Beamers or something, man, the way you sell this cold weather
He's selling us the sizzle, not the steak.
Not the steak.
It's not going to be cold.
Okay.
It's just going to feel nice, comfortably hot. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Comfortably hot.
Hot is never comfortable, though.
But no, just like you're in an air fryer and not in the microwave.
Everybody stop.
I like it. I'm going to use that one. It's like sauna versus steam room.
Yeah, okay, that's the best.
All right, that's good.
So there you go. So we're going to go back to sauna versus the steam room. So that we're going to take some of that moisture out because it's always the heat, it's the humidity, not the heat. You know.
Right.
You know that's the deal.
I know.
I'm trying. It's gonna be something.
We're excited.
You've had the same weather to report for like the last 3 months. So.
Hey man, cold fronts are the best. And while that front isn't going to blast through by any means, that drier air is going to come in. It's going to trickle in anyway. Here's our downpour we're watching. It is quickly fading in southern Sumter County. That's all I have for you tonight. Again, this is the start of what is going to be a fantastic weekend. If you're trying to maybe get something done that needs several days of dry weather outside, like maybe seal a deck or paint a fence or something like that, this is going to be your time to do it. So I'm adding to your to-do list this weekend. 88 degrees is the current temperature at the Orlando International Airport. Look at those beautifully blue skies out there. That is a live look with our Light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam. That breeze out of the northeast, it's helping to pump in some of that drier air. We're at 83 right now in DeLand, 84 in the Villages, 84 also in Palm Coast. Gorgeous evening coming our way tonight. Now here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
88 degrees tomorrow in DeLand. We're at 89 in Sanford, into Heathrow, Lake Mary. We're back to 86 in New Smyrna Beach, 91 in Ocala tomorrow, and it's going to start to feel a little less humid as well. All right, so here's the deal. We have the dew point temperature. It's the most important number other than the actual air temperature when it comes to your comfort. In that 50-degree zone, 50 to 55-ish, that's pretty much perfect. That's what we have going on in parts of the Northeast. That is trickling down the eastern seaboard right now. It's actually courtesy of of Hurricane Ernesto heading toward Bermuda, that counterclockwise flow, pulling it right down the eastern seaboard. When you have dew point temperatures in the 70s and sometimes close to 80, where we have it typically throughout the bulk of the summer, that is that oppressive stuff, that really sticky air. And once we get into the next few days, it is going to be going away. So again, it's in the tolerable stage. We're going to be falling back into the mid to upper 60s in terms of the dew point temperature. So again, it is still going to be a little humid, but relative to where we have been over the last couple of weeks, we've had dew point temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. You do see that, or mid to upper 70s, I should say. We would be talking about like the Gulf of Oman if we were in the mid to upper 80s. But nonetheless, mid to upper 70s do return by the time we get to the middle stages of next week. So it's a little break. It's a morsel of fall. Florida fall. It's comfortably hot. Little League World Series continues tomorrow for the Lake Mary All-Stars. They're going to be talking about temperatures around 80 degrees at game time. We're 91 tomorrow, 93 degrees on Saturday, back to the mid-90s on Sunday with a 20% shot for a downpour, mainly north of Orlando. And then our typical Florida weather returns by early next work week, guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, we've hit a huge milestone here at WKMG. We're celebrating 70 years of broadcasting news in Central Florida. That's pretty amazing.
It's a pretty big deal. We were the first TV station in Central Florida under the call letters WDBO. News 6 morning anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer caught up with one of our retired production managers to talk about a piece of history we keep right here at News 6.
All right, Bob, every time I come into work, right near the employee entrance, I see this contraption here. And I see a big plaque with WDBO. What is this?
Well, this was one of our original transmitters. WKMG went on the air in 1954, in July of 1954. So we're celebrating our 70th anniversary. So this, when we went on the air, it was as WDBO. Some people thought WDBO stood for Way Down by Orlando. It actually, yeah, you know, but it actually stands for our city of license with the Federal Communications Commission. So it stands for Daytona Beach, Orlando. Our call letters have changed a couple times. We were WCPX and then we became WKMG. But the historical significance, we're the oldest television station in Orlando. So we were the first TV station in Orlando, so there's some great historical significance to that.
And there's some radio woven into that as well.
Yes, because WDBO radio went on in the 1920s, and then WDBO television came on in 1954.
I mean, there's a lot of buttons and it's not a working thing, right?
It's non-operational, but back in the day, all of these were meters for different functions of the transmitter. Our transmitter tower is actually in Christmas, Florida, out near Bithlo, and but this is like a museum piece, and we keep it here because it's a reminder of our beginnings.
We'll continue celebrating 70 years of WKMG, taking you behind the scenes with old footage and photos. You can check out this timeline of our station, including our very first newscast script, in this article on clickorlando.com/insider. From the WKMG newsroom, Crystal Moyer, Getting Results, News 6.
Okay, so have you worked in the business long enough to actually have paper scripts?
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Come on. I mean, I should say no, but I am very well into paper scripts.
Yeah, but that was just crazy to see that.
Yeah. I miss having that in my hand. You know, it just had a nice feel.
Think of all the trees we're saving, though.
Saving a lot of trees. Yeah. That's right. But when this little teleprompter goes down,
we want those
and that's
trees
all,
in our hands.
Get rid of the trees. Give me those scripts back. All right, Jonathan has been talking about it all day, the comfortable weather that is coming our way.
Yeah, he's digging deeper into what's causing it in tonight's Weather-Wise when News 6 at 6:30 continues. We're back in 2.
Coming up in the morning, the push to lose weight leading to some potentially dangerous overdoses.
The drug experts say is causing a spike in calls to poison control centers and what you can do to make sure you stay safe.
And some changes for your weekend forecast. We'll have your pinpoint weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
We'll see you for News 6 Morning starting at 5 a.m.
Like we've been saying all day, Ernesto, he's our buddy. He's helping to bring arguably the best weather of the summer to Central Florida this weekend. That's not saying much, but
Comfortably dry heat. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas takes a deeper dive on why that is happening in this week's WeatherWise.
What I'm about to tell you might have you running for the pumpkin spice or your Ugg boots or your heavier jacket, because we have unseasonably drier air getting ready to blast into Central Florida. Don't get too excited. I'm trying not to myself, but if you're a fan of fall, it's at least a little morsel of it, because it is still going to be hot, but that oppressive humidity that we've been dealing with really for the last couple of weeks and really all summer, we're going to take a little bit of a bite out of that, and we're going to show you the setup for that. A lot of it has to do with Ernesto passing safely to our east. We'll chew up the beaches again, but nonetheless. All right, so here's the deal with what we're looking at now. All of this green, that is going to be the moisture associated with Ernesto as it works its way to the north. The system, a little dip in the jet stream that was working its way off the northeast corner of the United States, that feature there, we've talked about this at length last week, that was going to protect the southeast corner of the United States from Ernesto. It was going to force it to go back to the east. It has done that. Now, the two of those systems are going to work in tandem to help bring in some relatively drier air right down the eastern seaboard and into Central Florida. Watch what happens when we set this in motion. This is later on Thursday evening, by the way, and watch this drier air just continue to spiral around and loop around and really come across the Florida peninsula as we get into Friday especially, and then really staying with us Saturday into Sunday. And I think when you wake up on Saturday morning, might be one of the cooler mornings, quote unquote, we've had in a longer time. But I really think you're going to notice a difference as well. Some may even feel chilly outside.
Chilly?
We are not a hardy bunch. You see the memes all the time. We were talking about this yesterday, like the 300 character, like Cat 5 hurricane, and then like when it gets below 75.
Oh my gosh.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a poll on my Facebook page on Saturday or Sunday morning. Someone's going to be cold. Maybe not.
What cold is in Florida is you have to put some Crocs on or some socks under your Crocs is what you need.
That's what it is. Or with your flip-flops, whatever. We don't discriminate here. Whatever
sure.
makes you feel better about it. I'm going to walk the dogs early on Saturday just to see how it feels. Jonathan goes in depth on the big weather stories weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Watch WeatherWise on our new 6 Plus streaming app for your smart TV and on clickorlando.com. Thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30.
Have a great night.
It's estimated that nearly 70% of Americans are either overweight or obese. The question is, why and what can we do about it? Joining us today to talk about it is Dr. Teixeira, who is the director here at the Orlando Health Weight Loss and Bariatric Surgery Institute. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for being here.
Why are so many people struggling with their weight?
It's a great question. A lot of it has to do with how we're living our life, with electronics. Right? We are actually not active like we used to, and how we're eating is one of the things too. And of course, there's also a genetics component.
How do you decide which surgery they get? Because there are a lot of different options.
We always look at what is the best procedure for long-term outcome. Short-term outcome, everything works, right? So we look at age, we look at weight, eating habits, more sugar, more carbs versus quantity. We look at medical issues. So we try to tailor that for long-term success.
So the whole idea is those procedures actually limit the amount of food you can consume.
Number one. Number two, those procedures also decreases your hunger.
How do you feel physically after bariatric surgery? Is there pain? Is it hard to eat?
So, like for example, we did surgery today. Patients are up and move around same day. Some of them go home the same day in the evening. Some of them go home in the next morning. We actually don't use any pain medication, narcotics, because patients don't need it, because we use some special numbness injections that we use on the skin. And then the hard part starts. The surgery is the easiest part. The hard part is how to change your life and how to eat afterwards.
Yeah.
And this is important to have on the institute, which is your own nutritionist, your own psychologist, to give that completely support to the patient. So that, to me, that's the most difficult part.
This is an institute, so it isn't just about doing surgery or treating patients. You are training other doctors who come here from around the world.
We are a training center for robotics, and also for what we do. Recently we have people coming from India, Dubai, Brazil, London, actually. People wanted to see how is the institute functioning and how we were able to integrate not just surgery, but also bariatric endoscopy, medical, plastics, and other fields of surgery all integrated within one institute. So it's very interesting when people come in and say, how do you guys do this? I say, well, it's all on health.
If you would like more information on the surgery and treatments that are available, you can go to orlandohealth.com/bariatrics.